I'll stand guard. I've got to go and meet Charlotte. I'll see you later. Try not to cause a diplomatic incident with these creatures. As Ronan headed out, Deluxe called after him, a glint in his eye. Oi, Ronan, just make sure you don't do anything that might cause embarrassment to our family. We've had enough for one day. Ronan paused at the door, a flicker of an ironic smile on his face. Deluxe, I don't think I could do anything that would cause more embarrassment to our family. We've reached peak humiliation. It's physically impossible. Good boy, good boy. Mom would be proud of you. Mom, that's it, Ronan. I think I've just worked out a way of how we can get these down to Badger Bateses. A truly brilliant plan. Ingenuity, that's what it is. Pure genius, born of desperation. Deluxe's eyes twinkled with a new, equally ludicrous scheme. The faint scent of propane now almost indistinguishable from the general aroma of desperation. Chapter 7, The Exploding Dolly Dilemma. The sun began its slow descent over Cobblestone Corner, casting long, dramatic shadows that stretched like grasping fingers across Nelson Mandela Towers. Inside flat 127, the two inflated dolls, Polyphene Pam and Vinyl Vera, now fully erect and imposing, seemed to loom over Deluxe and Alistair with an unsettling presence. They swayed slightly in the stagnant air, their fixed smiles eerily unsettling. The flat, usually a haven of chaotic comfort, felt like a ticking time bomb. The air, despite Deluxe's frantic attempts at ventilation, still carried a faint, unsettling chemical smell, a mix of stale plastic and something vaguely metallic. Ronan, meanwhile, was on his date with Charlotte, a date already marred by tomato juice and the looming presence of lusty Linda and erotic Estelle. He was trying desperately to salvage some semblance of normalcy, to pretend his life wasn't a constant circus of bizarre schemes, but his mind kept drifting back to the monstrous figures silently occupying their small living room, an unspoken, inflatable threat. In Mick's pub, the Nag's Head of Cobblestone, the usual crowd was gathered. Oblivious to the impending danger, the pub, a relic of a bygone era, was alive. With the low murmur of conversation and the clatter of pint glasses, Stanley plum-picked at a plate of suspiciously red, mushy vegetables that Mick had assured him were fresh Jersey tomatoes. These tomatoes are a bit manky, aren't they, Nate? He commented to Mick, pushing one around his plate with a fork. Still, they'll make your beard taste better, Mick, if you ever grow one. Mick sighed, wiping down the bar with a rag that probably predated the tomatoes. I'll have you know, Stanley, they were fresh Jersey tomatoes, top quality. Straight off the ferry. Picked just yesterday. Yeah. When? Mick. The year dot. Because they look like they've seen better. Centuries. Miss Patrick, a local busybody with an uncanny knack for appearing at the most opportune moments, sidled up to Stanley. Why do you come in, Miss Patrick? For the company. Stanley doesn't have many friends or opportunities for social outlet. Every weekend, he goes down to the park and throws bread to the ducks. To him, it's a dinner party, a grand banquet. So during the week, he has a straight choice between sitting in a cemetery or sitting in this pub. Unfortunately, the cemetery closes at 6, so here he is. What is the matter with everyone today? Stanley's done nothing but moan. You've got a face like a constipated rat. Mick, if you don't mind me saying. Mick grunted, a sound of long-suffering resignation. At least when Deluxe Boy comes in, he cracks a joke and has a laugh, puts a bit of life into the place. Even if it's at someone else's expense, usually mine. It is due to the activities of the aforementioned Deluxe Boy that I have a face like a constipated rat. Miss Patrick, Mick retorted, rubbing his forehead. Derek popped in to see me this afternoon. How is he? A lot richer than before. He popped in to see me this afternoon. Thanks to me, he sold me some video recorders, 70 pounds each. I snapped them up. A bargain, I thought, for top-of-the-range tech. Stanley's eyes widened. 70 knicker each. What? They fall off the back of a lorry, Mick, because that sounds highly irregular, even for Deluxe. Mick scoffed. If they did, Stanley, they were going round a bend in Dusseldorf. That's what Deluxe told me. Anyway, how do you mean? I have just discovered that. These machines only work on the continental current. To make them work on the British system would take a transformer the size of a suitcase and an electrician of such genius, I'd have to go head hunting at Cape Canaveral. They're absolutely knackered. Stanley, completely useless. 70 knicker each. Those video recorders. 70 knicker each? Yeah, I'll have one, Mick. I'm sure. I can figure out how to make it work. I'm a bit of a dab hand with electronics. Stanley, ever the optimist, held out his money for a broken VCR, confident in his own non-existent technical prowess. No, sticker. See, they only work on the Continental O, for crying out loud. All right, Stanley, I'll drop one round later. Just please, for the love of all that's holy, don't try and plug it indirectly. We don't need another electrical fire in the flat. Just then, Mick, who had been listening to the radio behind the bar, suddenly looked alarmed, his eyes widening. He fumbled with the volume knob, turning it up to Mick. Mick, hang on. I've only got one pair of hands. Have you